Good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Well, anyway, it is Wednesday here, and the last couple days it's been kind of rainy on and off. Yesterday was pretty much a rain day most of the day, but in between the rain coming in, I was able to get some stuff accomplished around the yard, and I just wanted to share you some updates with what we're doing here. Also, I'm going to give you some updates on Feliz, or what's going on back in the Philippines, because of course you know we have the CCTV setup over there. And we're able to see what's going on with the pups, with our gardener, with activities that are going on inside our neighborhood. Well, anyway, what I want to start with this morning is I worked a little bit yesterday on the koi pond. And most of it was some of the landscaping that we're doing around here. I was not happy with the way that maple tree was sitting inside it. It just didn't look right. It didn't have that zen feeling. And you remember when we went to Flower Town Gardens the other day, they had the Japanese maple trees that looked more like the zen type, the smaller leaves and the trees that look like a bonsai. And I said, oh, we have some of those here at the house. So I dug up one of the two that we have here and I replaced it. Let me show you what I did. So if you remember, this tree right here was over here, but now we have this tree, which is more of a, I think more appropriate for a pond. And I'm really happy with that. And what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to get some of the grass, this type of grass, to go around, and I'm going to be populating it a little bit more over here by the settlement tank, and I'll put some more back along the back side of the pond, so you'll see a little bit of greenery. You can kind of see it right now when you look from this side, but it's not very high. I will continue to do a little bit more with the landscaping there. We're still waiting on our koi fish to come in and to spew out the water. And remember what we're going to use. We're going to use this waterfall pipe that we have, this PVC pipe here, and we're going to do an adaptation to that pipe to connect into the koi fish. I have something in mind with a pedestal base, and I will probably make it out of something like concrete. I will run some tubing inside there, and that will be a DIY project that we'll talk about later on. Also, what I want to show you is with the amount of rain that we got. Remember, the rain is so much better than the water that we get from the city because it has some chlorine and stuff like that. But the natural rain that comes from the sky, from the heavens above, it does so much for improving the grass inside. And I want you to look at the grass here. The grass is actually starting to come in really good. Let's take a walk up to the front yard and see what the grass looks like up there. So something I want to show you is the exponential growth of these sago palms. Look at the size of these leaves. I swear they grow about 2 inches a day. I'll show you the ones on this other side of the house that are growing as well. So I also want to show you some of the peppers. I picked up some peppers for Ness. Ness said she wanted all kinds of hot peppers. So I got some Tabasco, some chili, and I don't remember what the other one was. But I want you to show you the growth of these guys, and we just put it inside our tangerine pot over here. And these are the chili peppers. Look at all the chili peppers that are growing right now. And remember, the chili peppers can be used, the leaves from the chili peppers, they can be used for tinola. and that's what Ness will be chipping those off now and then when she makes her chicken cannoli. One of the things I want to talk about today really wasn't about the koi pond. It's really not about the growth that we have going on here with the vegetation here because of the nice weather and the rain. What I want to talk about today is something that everybody is always interested in, and there's a little bit of information out there, but I want to put my experience, I want to share my experience with you. And that is, how do people get items from the United States back to the Philippines? Well, as you know, one thing that's very popular is the Balikbayan box. And there's several companies. I thought there was only one company I thought it was only LBC that does it, but there are several companies out there, and I'll show you. I made contact with several of the companies, and I think what we're going to end up doing, I think we're going to go with the tried and true LBC, and I will talk a little bit about that. Let's go back up on the patio, and we'll go to the laptop, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been doing, and I will share that experience as we pack and we ship stuff back to the Philippines. Well, I started doing some research on different companies that will send these shipments of Balikbayan boxes back to the Philippines. There are 3 companies that I contacted. There's probably many more, I don't know. But the 3 that I contacted was LBC Express, I contacted 4X, and a company called GG Cargo LLC. So anyway, I will show you these links on here, and every one of them sent a response back, and I think the prices are all about the same. I think most of them are around $85 per box for shipping, and that's for cargo. They have air and they have cargo. So let's talk about the shipping times that the companies will tell you it takes to go from the United States to the Philippines. LLC gave an estimated 58 days from pickup, where they have it at their port, wherever their port is, and I think they have ports on the West Coast, they have ports on the East Coast. I know for this area right here, there's a warehouse down in Jacksonville. There's also a place in California that I saw, and we'll talk about a little bit about another service that LBC has that's pretty interesting. Times for the other companies, I think up to about 70 days. Well, when you make a determination on who you are going to select to ship your goods on a Balikbayan shipment, one of the things you have to take in consideration is, where is the closest agent? Now for us, this was a no-brainer, and I'll tell you why. So first off, I contacted LBC customer support, and I believe they're out of Jacksonville, and they gave me a representative that was supposed to be in this area. I called that number, and that person answered and gave me another representative in this number. I don't know, there's like a South Carolina a rep, and then there's a local rep in each one of the areas. I guess that's the way it works. So I was able to get someone close by for LBC. I also received a reply back from Forex out of Florida, and they have a South Carolina representative, which is in Greenville, South Carolina, which is in upstate. It's pretty far driving distance from here. Now, what I found out from some of the folks is that if they have to drive a distance, they normally will charge you per box. The normal price for a shipment from the United States to the Philippines is $85 per box, and that is a 24 by 18 by 24 inch box. I think that's what they call their large box that they have. I also received a reply back from my inquiry from GG Cargo LLC, and they have a rep in Clover, South Carolina, and Clover, South Carolina is almost on the border of South Carolina and North Carolina, really very close to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's the biggest city that it's nearby. Now let's go back to the first one, to LBC. Remember I said I contacted an agent who gave me the South Carolina rep. South Carolina rep gave me a local rep. Well, lo and behold, the local rep for LBC is in the same subdivision that I live in right here. He contacted me today, and he will be coming by tomorrow with some boxes, and we're going to talk about different shipping tips and things like that. So I think we're going to go with LBC, and we'll share that with you when that happens. And one more thing, as I promised, I wanted to talk about a service LBC has, and this is a special service. If you don't want to ship items to your house, or purchase things and box things up at your house and then send it to your house, your home in the Philippines, LBC has a service called shippingcart.com. And what shippingcart.com does for you is they set up an address under your name in Hayward, California at their warehouse. If you order something from Amazon.com or any online web service, you can have it shipped to this warehouse. It's like a mailbox, a P.O. box at the LBC shippingcart.com warehouse in Hayward. And what they will do, they will compile these, they will box all these things up for you. Once your shopping box is full, your Balikbayan box is full, they will ship it directly from their location and send it back to you to the Philippines in the form of a Balikbayan box. So that is a neat service as well. I signed up for it. I have a shipping address. I haven't used it yet, but I will use it. I plan on using it, and when I do, I will share that experience with you. I do know that I learned this from other users, other subscribers here on My PI Dream, and all the experiences that I've heard from those folks have been favorable. So as soon as I do that, I will share that with you as well. So as we go along with our Balikbayan experience, we will show you and share that experience with you as well. So let's move on to the next thing. Back in the Philippines, I said we're going to talk about what's going on at Villa Feliz. So anyway, we have one pup that has been given away. We gave that pup away a week ago, remember, to our Ironworks folks. And that is Otto and Grace, our Ironworks people. Well, anyway, Grace sent me a picture of her and her dad and the new pup, and they already have a name for the new pup, and the new pup's name is Moana. So let me show you that picture now. Doesn't that look like one happy family with the new pup? We have our second pup that's being given away, I believe it is this Saturday, and that's Sean Pascali. And Sean is going to be picking him up Saturday, and I will alert the folks inside to make sure that we have a good transfer of pup number 2. Remember, we still have 3 pups left over. Anyway, we have some CCTV coverage of some of the pups. So let me show you the pups and they're big enough now, and they're jumping on the front porch. Those giant steps from the first one, that, remember, I have to make the elevated step to get to the first step to go to the patio on the front porch area. Well, they're maneuvering that, so they're getting around quite well. So here's a picture of those guys. And last but not least, and I'm going to have to show you this later on, is I've been looking at the grass. The grass is coming in great there. It is so green. I don't know that it needs grass clipping yet. My sister-in-law said she visited and she says it needs it, but I don't think she's ever had a lawn to cut. So what you normally do, especially during the very hot season, you allow your grass to grow taller. And it acts like a tree, and it protects the roots, you know, little trees that are only about this high. But normally what you do, because the environment in the Philippines is just like the climate here in Charleston. And I have 4 settings on my lawnmower. I never use setting number 1. That's way too close to the bottom. And it cuts so much you can actually do damage to your grass. But what I do here is, as the growing season gets towards the summertime and it starts getting hotter, I start raising the level of my lawnmower up. Right now I am actually to level 4, which is the highest level for the front yard, and some of the areas where the grass isn't quite so strong right now and it's still trying to break through, I have it on a lower level right now. I think I'm doing level 3, and as you can see what the grass looked like back here, it's starting to come in great. And I think when I get back, which is going to be the end of July, we'll have to get a lawnmower, and I will pick out one from one of the big box stores there, and then we will probably start cutting the yard at that point. Today is a short video just to let you know that we are alive and well, and give you some updates on Villa Feliz, and also let you know we're going to do the experience, the Balikbayan experience for shipping packages from the U.S. to the Philippines. But we do have a couple of belated birthday shout-outs. Remember, I haven't been online for the last few days since we did the Charleston tour, and we want to make sure that we get our shout-outs as quick as possible. For May 14th, we have a couple of May 14th birthdays, and the first one is Wilco Weidler's wife, Mylene. It was her birthday. And our last belated birthday shout-out is for the same day. It's for May 14th, and it is for Rosalie Veniegas' husband, Rudyard, and the couple reside in Dublin, Ireland. But I don't think Rosalie knows that we remember she was an earlier shout out herself for an earlier birthday, and she is from
Agdayao, Pasig City.
And I'm glad she said that because I would have really butchered the name. So anyway, to both you, Mylene and Rudyard, we want to wish you both a happy birthday. Well, while I am sitting back here by the pond, I have to share with you a experience. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Well, it almost was a tragedy, but I tell the good with the bad, and it was a learning experience for me. Although I've been doing ponds for a while, I normally have a strategy that I have when I replace some of the water in the pond. If you replace a little bit of the water at a time, a lot of times it will not affect the fish inside the pond. And there's percentages that you can. Different websites will tell you different things. Don't ever remove more than 25% of the pond water at one time, or different types of percentages as well. Well, this is a larger pond. Normally, larger ponds, the water will be much more stable than smaller ponds, because the smaller ponds, it's very easy to change the pH balance and the chlorine levels if you're putting city water inside as well. Well, I've already changed some of the water in this pond a couple of times when I was cleaning. Remember, we first set up the pond, there was a lot of debris inside there, so we had to clean out the settlement chamber, we had to clean out the biomechanical filter. And I've done that 2 times before with no issue to any of our guinea pig feeder fish that we had inside there. No problem whatsoever. Well, I made a mistake yesterday. I walked away. I cleaned both the settlement tank and the biomechanical filter yesterday. And I was putting water back in. I had the hose in the settlement tank, which allows it to go through the pump system, the filtration system, through the waterfall and back into the water. Well, I accidentally walked away, and that was when it was raining. The rain came down like crazy. I walked away and I left the water running from the garden hose, and I forgot the water hose was pouring water inside the pond. I don't know how much water we exchanged inside there, because you remember I put an overflow tank or an overflow pipe inside there, so if there is too much water from the rain or any event, that water will not overflow the pond. Well, I don't know the amount of water that got exchanged yesterday, but I know it was too much, because I came back and I saw an anomaly. And the anomaly was I had a goldfish that was sitting right here on the top, laying sideways, and I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Then furthermore, I looked inside the pond, and I noticed the fish, the koi, they were in a very lethargic mode. Normally, when you walk by the pond, since it's a newly established pond, when you walk up to them, they jump all over the place. While the fish were doing nothing. And then I looked, and I saw one of my white koi, and he was laying kind of sideways, kind of limping. Long story short, too much water inside there without stabilization. So I quickly ran down to my local pet and garden store, and this is what I ended up getting. I got this API stress coat right here. It makes tap water safe, removes chlorine, chloramines, and ammonia, gives healing power and things like that for the fish. It calms the fish down, it reduces stress, and my fish were in a stress level. I will tell you, we lost 2 of the koi yesterday. It was a very sad day for me, and it was my fault. And I have to be more attentive and when it comes to doing things like this. So lesson learned. It was an expensive lesson learned. 2 koi, 1 goldfish, and cost of the stress coat. You should normally, when you change water out, you should always add any type of a stress coat kind of a additive to aid with the fish, so that they don't go through a stress mode and you don't do harm to your fish. I will do that from now on, but I had to share that experience with you. Anyway, I am going to close for today. I have a few things to do, and it has to do with the yard, and it's clean up around the yard. I just want to keep you updated on what was going on back in the Philippines, and to let you know we're going to do some user experience when it comes to shipping a Balikbayan box. So that should be pretty interesting. Again, tomorrow, if we are supposed to have our Balikbayan representative for LVC, come by, and maybe he can share some information with you as well, if you are shipping from the United States back to the Philippines. So anyway, that's it for today. So anyway, we are going to close for now. If you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You will be subscribed, then you will be notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day.